Sorry, that last video cut off. My phone died again. Apparently I need to charge it more. Alright, I think we were right here. Men bring rats along wherever they go. They don't mean to. The rats that travel with men travel as stowaways. The fleas and the Black Death were both stowaways on the rats. He might have mentioned that in India, the rat is the companion of Ganesha, the beloved god with the elephant's head. The old one didn't speak because he was sizing up the cat. He'd never seen a cat before, but he'd heard about them. It was the way the cat wove from side to side that worried him, like a snake ready to strike. The old one knew about snakes. Snakes ate rats. We'll read one more chapter today. Chapter 7, Havy and the Cat's Surprise. Bernie had a guard dog at the Texaco. Every noon when he drove out to the barn to water the animals, he'd bring Havy along so she could have a run and do her business. Her favorite thing to do was to chase Lady and nip at the horses. Bernie always yelled, but it was only a half-hearted yell because this was Havy's only exercise. To tell the truth, it was the horses' only exercise too. The rest of the day they sat around in the paddock and she sat chained up behind the Texaco. The lady warned Whittington about Havy. "She'll kill if she can. She has scores to settle. She lives to get even." "I heard Bernie tell the hayman how he got her," she continued. "One afternoon," he said, "I saw this dog wandering around in the churchyard across from the Texaco. She looked lost, real skinny, like she'd just had puppies. There'd been some drifters hanging around. I figured they kept the puppies and dumped her. I brought her some meat. She snarled, but she took it. She was starved. Next day I bought her some more. Called the dog officer. He took her away. I felt bad about what might happen to her at the pound, so I called and said if nobody claimed her, I'd take her. Nobody called. A couple of days later, I brought her to the Texaco. She's too much of a biter to take home, so she lives chained up out back. Keeps people away from the broken down cars. Had her fixed so she wouldn't have any more puppies." Whittington listened carefully. "An odd name, Havy," he said. "Where'd she get it?" The lady gave him a look. "She's proud of it," she said. "It's the name of a motor oil. Havy says her full name, Haveline, used to be on posters in gas stations. It was famous." Havy left her scat around. That helped keep the coyotes away and the fox. When Havy visited, the rats lay low. One windy morning before Whittington arrived, the lady was in her bathing place and didn't hear the truck when Bernie stopped at the top of the hill. Havy raced down and caught her unawares. She got some of her tail feathers and all of her dignity as the lady squalled into the pond. Havy had rushed the cat a couple of times too and sent him up a tree, but it was her daily assaults on the lady that made the cat mad. That had to stop. He and the lady made a plan. The lady would wait for Havy near the barn door. Instead of rushing into the pond, which is what she usually did, the duck was to dive under the barn door. They practiced. She just fit. The risk was that she wouldn't be fast enough. Whittington rehearsed her. He was the dog. He zipped up, she shot under. She could make it. Their plan was that once she got Havy close to the barn, Whittington would give the dog a surprise. By the time they heard Bernie's truck the next morning, everybody was wound up tight. The horses were tearing around the paddock, the lady was flapping in front of the barn, Coragio was crowing, the bantams were yapping. It was melee time. Havy hit the ground before the truck stopped rolling. Bernie swore as she took off after the duck, but no more than he usually did. The lady let the dog get just close enough before she dove. There was a screech then that made Bernie's hair go up. From the beam over the barn door, something dropped like lightning. What followed was like a bronco rider going bareback on a wild horse. Whittington had landed on Havy's back just as the dog tasted the tip ends of the lady's tail feathers. The cat locked his jaws on an ear, planted his front claws deep in the dog's shoulders, and with his hinders, he kicked out hairs in tufts so thick you'd think he was trying to dig a hole back there. The dog's bark shifted from fury to terror. She rolled over. Whittington jumped clear. Havy was big and tough, but she was out of shape, like the football player who was very good years ago, but has mostly sat down since. She made a run at Whittington. The cat would let her get just so close, then he'd dance aside. Havy was used to cats that ran. On a straight-out run, she had a chance of getting what she was after, but this cat didn't run. The dog made another pass. This time, Whittington met her head-on with a paw full of claws. Havy gave that cat a death bite that would have done in a football. The cat seemed to be all hair and air. The dog ended up with a mouthful of fur. Her nose felt like she met the business end of a porcupine. She'd had enough. It didn't take a minute, and Bernie was there the whole time, kicking at the cat, kicking at the dog, missing everything, yelling and cursing. He lost his cigar. When it was done, he locked Havy in the pickup and spent the next half hour quieting the horses so he could borrow out their manure without getting run over. When she heard the truck door slam, the lady came out. "Thank you," she said to the cat. "I've always wanted to do that." "I do like a fight," said Whittington, "but they cost me." He had bare places on his thigh and tail where Havy had given him the death bite. It was Christmas before the hair on Havy's back grew in. The cat carried his patches to Valentine's Day. After the fight, the cat no longer wove from side to side. Whittington figured it was the flip he did when Havy bit him. "Chiropractory," the lady said, nodding firmly. "A good snap works every time." And that's where we'll stop for today. Thank you guys. I just clicked on my computer. Thank you guys for following along. I hope you're enjoying this. I'll plan to read about this much every day, 3 to 4 chapters. And I'm pretty sure we should be able to finish it in maybe 3 weeks or so. It's a pretty quick book overall. I'm just going to double check and make sure there weren't any pictures that I forgot to show you. I guess here's one of the rats, the old one they called him. For today, for your last task, if you wish to, I'm hoping it will adjust. Let's see. Well, it's not adjusting, but you get the gist. That's the rat, the old one. For your last task, if you wish to, comment on this post about what you think about the idea that Whittington and Lady and the horses and the Bantams and Carraggio are all family now. What does that mean to you? What does it mean for Havy? Is she part of that family at all? What do you think it could mean for the rats in the future? Are they part of the family? And then do you see perhaps any kind of family dynamics already coming up? You know, that kind of conflict that you sometimes get in with your brother or your mom or your dad or your sister. Is this a usual family or an unusual family? So go ahead and comment on the post below, and you can respond to each other. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry, it's 2 videos. I'll try to keep it to just one next time. But hope you enjoyed it, and we'll read it again tomorrow. Bye-bye.